Hi everyone, Melissa here. And so our practice today is for our lower back, and this will be approximately a 30-minute class. And for this practice, you will need a bolster or a few large pillows, as well as a blanket, and you will need a strap and 2 blocks, or you can use your bolsters or pillows. And so we are going to jump right into it so that we can address everything we may have going on in our lower spine. We'll be coming down to lie flat on our back to begin with, and we'll be using our bolster or our pillows to support underneath our knees. So go ahead and bring your blanket towards the back short end of your mat. And then we're going to start by taking our legs to our pillow and then coming down onto your back. Make sure that your head is supported here. And then slide your bolster a little ways away from you so that your calves rest comfortably onto the top of your pillow. And now your feet can kind of just be dangling in space if that feels comfortable for you, or you can adjust your bolster so that you have support underneath the feet as well. So if it feels like it's straining the tops of your feet, make sure that you add that layer of support. And now once you're down into the position, take a moment here and check how your pelvis is on the floor. And so pressing into your hands, you may want to scooch your tailbone a little bit more towards your pillow to lengthen the base of your spine away from your shoulders. And now let your shoulders tuck underneath your heart here. And then we're going to take our hands into an L shape here. So with the fingers straight up and the thumbs sticking out. And now we'll take our hands and we're going to bring them just above our hips. And so finding that iliac crest, the bony part of our pelvis here, we'll take the space between our index finger and thumb to either side of our hips. So just above the bone. This will help to bring our breath down into our lower body. So once you feel your hands kind of situated in the right spot, go ahead and soften your shoulders and elbows down to the ground. And now, if you would like to, I invite you to close your eyes here and begin to notice natural breath. Maybe observing that your awareness is heightened by the sensation of your hands at your hips. Allowing your hands to gently move away from one another as the breath expands with the inhale. And move gently back towards one another as the body contracts. Exhale. Let your lower body rest heavy, noticing if there's any tension in your legs that you can release, letting your toes turn slightly outward from the hip socket if that feels comfortable. Thinking about sending your breath all the way down into the very base of the spine, allowing the pelvis to empty and fill with breath. Allow the breath to grow a little more deep, a little steadier. Let's take 3 more slow, full rounds. As you complete your 3 rounds, slowly release your hands down beside you, letting your palms open wide beside, with the thumbs pointing away from the body and the palms pointing towards the ceiling. Take 3 more rounds of breath here, allowing the breath to grow even deeper still. Feeling the expansion in the pelvis without your hands now. With your 4th inhale, slowly draw your left knee in towards your chest. You can take both hands around your left leg and gently pull your left leg down towards you, lengthening through the low back on the left side. Go ahead and circle the left ankle here. You can go clockwise and counterclockwise. Going at least 3 times in both directions. And then as you feel complete, exhale and extend the left leg back out. Inhale and pull the right leg in. Hands can come around the shin, drawing the knee towards your chest. Go ahead and wake up your foot a little bit. Roll the ankle clockwise and counterclockwise. And then with your next inhale, go ahead and extend your right leg now. We'll slowly bend our knees. And then rolling over to your side, come to sit up just momentarily. We're going to push our bolster off to the side, keep it within reach because we will need it again. And we'll go ahead and grab our strap. And now if you have your 2 blocks, you can bring those to either side of your mat. If you're still using your pillows, just have those on either side. And now we'll extend our right leg once again, pulling the left knee in towards our chest. And we're going to take our strap around the ball of the left foot. Pushing through the ball of the foot, let the strap run hands as you straighten your leg out. And now your leg doesn't have to be up overhead. Let it be at a little bit of an angle here with your shoulders staying tucked underneath your heart. And then just push out through the length of your heel as you resist with your hands. Try not to have a death grip on the strap, just gently pressing out through the length of the leg. Taking another big breath in. And then exhaling to release. And now momentarily place both pieces of the strap in your right hand. Use your left hand to lift your head, and we're going to take our block right to the inside of our left hip. So it's going to sit right beside us. And now switching your straps into the left hand, the right hand's going to open wide beside you in a T shape, lining the wrist up with the shoulder. With your next exhale, we're going to allow the left leg to move out towards the long edge of the mat. It's going to run into our block here to help keep our pelvis neutral, extending out through the heel, making some space in the inner thigh and groin. Continue to breathe. Let's take 3 rounds of breath. And then with your 4th inhale, let your knee bend a little bit. Come back to center, squeeze your belly towards your back. We're going to take our strap off of our foot here. Let the heel come down towards your bottom, pulling the left knee in towards your left chest. And now our right block beside our right side here can come over onto the lowest setting. Taking it a little away from the right hip, we'll bring our right hand to the outside of our left knee. Extend the left arm out wide in your T shape. And then with your next exhale, roll over the right leg, taking your left leg to the floor over your block. It can rest right on your block, so adjust it if you need a little more room. If you need to take the block higher, go ahead and do so. And now, as we reach downward through the left knee, reach out through the left fingertips, creating a long line of stretch diagonally across the left side of the body. Reaching the back of your left rib cage down towards the earth as you continue to reach the left leg over. Let's take one more full breath in and deep breath out. Now use your next inhale to push your left leg back to center here. We'll extend our left leg out and then inhale and pull the right knee in towards our chest. Finding your strap, we'll bring the strap around the ball of our right foot. Inhale and extend through the right leg. And again, it doesn't have to be at 90 degrees. Open it out so that you can really enjoy the stretch here. So if you're shaking and struggling, reduce it a little bit. It should be kind of pleasurable. The stretch should feel good. If you want to prepare, you can move your block to the inside of your right hip, excuse me, to the outside. It would be right on the outer edge. Keep pressing through the length of your heel, breathing slow and smooth. And now taking both pieces of the strap into your right hand. Open the left arm into your T shape. Left wrist lines up with left shoulder. Breathe in big. And then as you exhale, we'll open our right leg out towards the long edge of the mat on the right, finding the inner thigh and groin here, pressing out through the heel. 3 breaths. Use your next inhale, slowly bending the right knee, bring it back to center. Remove your strap at this time, sending it off to the side. We will not need our strap again. We'll take our right hand and open it out, bringing our block now to the left side of our mat. Left hand goes to the outside of our right knee. Big breath in. And then our exhale twists our right leg over our left, moving towards the block on the right edge of the mat. And so again, the block can come to any height that works for your leg. Try to keep your right shoulder pinned to the earth, reaching your right rib cage down towards the ground as you reach your right knee down towards the ground. Full deep breaths in your twist here. Feel the space of the twist in the lower spine. All right. Placing your hand underneath the inside of the right knee. Inhale and slowly press your right leg back to center. And then exhale and extend your right leg out. From here, inhale and stretch your arms back behind you. You can point your toes, take a nice big full body stretch. Thinking about stretching your skin here, reaching from tip to tip. And then use your next exhale to hug your knees back in towards your chest if you want to roll a little side to side across the spine. And then we're going to slowly roll over onto our side of choice, pressing into your hands, slowly come up to a seated position. So taking your time here, no rush to come up. And now we're going to grab our our bolster again, or our pillow. And so you want enough support if you're using pillows so that your body weight can kind of rest on this. We don't want to just tumble over onto the side when we go to do it or be directly lying on the floor. And so taking your prop so that the short end faces the short end. And we're going to start by sitting right beside our bolster on our left hip. And so your knees can both be facing towards the right. The shoelace part of your foot can come to the ground. And then we are going to simply slide our body down the bolster. So taking your left hand onto the top of your support, go ahead and slowly let your hand run down it. And we're going to come all the way over. And so if you like here, you can support your head, especially if there are any neck injuries that you are taking care of at this time. You may also like letting the head come down to rest onto the top of the arm. You can take your top arm down to the ground if you need a little bit of support. And you can also extend your top arm up overhead if you want to add into that twist or this gentle lateral flexion for the spine. Thinking now about creating space between the rib and the hip here, we're really breathing into the depths of our lumbar spine. So thinking about opening space here, allowing the breath to move through the right rib cage, maybe the outside of the right leg, wherever you may be experiencing it. We won't hold this one super long. Wherever you are, let's take one more complete round of breath. And then slowly lowering your top hand down to the earth if it's not already there. We're going to inhale and slowly push yourself back up to seated. And now both knees are still facing towards the long edge of the mat. They can be staggered here. And we're going to keep our pillow right where it is. But now we're going to take our hands and turn our hands so that we're framing our support. Inhale and lift your heart up towards the ceiling like we were going to do cow pose. And then as you exhale, slowly lay your chest down onto the top of your support so that your heart comes down onto it. And now from here, you can turn your left cheek down to the bolster so that your head is turned in the same direction as your knees. And then let your arms tuck in beside you here so that you are kind of hugging around your support here, almost like a little baby monkey hugging its mama. And now in this twist, feel the space in the lower spine. Feel the right rib cage settle down onto the support. Feeling the twist through the lower back. Breathing into it, we can rest here. Full deep breath. Feel your belly breathing into your support. One more full round of breath. And with your next inhale, find your hands firm on the floor. Hug your belly towards your spine. Inhale and slowly push yourself up to seated, pulling your belly towards your back. And now from wherever you are, I invite you to simply roll over onto the opposite side. So you can kind of just roll right on over so that you're on your right side now. I'm actually going to flip myself so that I'm continuing to face you. And so again, our shoelace part of the foot can be on the floor. The outside edge of our legs of our right leg can rest just a little ways away from our support. And then same thing here, we're going to let our right hand slowly run down our bolster. You can support the head here if that's most comfortable. Use your blanket between your arm and your ear if you need a little extra support. Left arm can come overhead if that is agreeable, or leave it on the floor if that feels more comfortable. You can also rest on the top of your hip. Know that one side may feel different from the other simply because of how we're structured. So let that difference be a space to breathe into rather than criticize. Just noticing how the pose feels, how the breath moves in the pose. Again, the spine is in lateral flexion here, so notice that space that we're carving out in the lower spine. Let's take one more round of breath here. And then use your exhale to slowly lower your left hand, your top hand back down to the ground if it's not already there. And then we'll inhale and slowly push up. You can take your right hand to the floor as well to assist. And now same exact thing on this side. We're going to frame our support. Inhale, think about cow pose. Lift the chin away from the chest, lift up through your heart. And then exhale, slowly fold down, taking as much of your chest onto your support as you can. Let your right cheek come down so that you're looking in the same direction as your knees. And then feel free to hug your arms in around your prop. Now, for any of our bigger breasted individuals in this posture, know that it is completely okay to adjust if you need to kind of move stuff around so that you're able to breathe a little bit easier, or if it's feeling really tender, know that you can also bring a blanket underneath your cheeks so that you have a little bit of space between your chest and your head. Once again, finding this gentle lower spine twist. Let's take one more full round of breath. Pressing into your hands. Inhale, belly hugs towards back. Slowly come all the way back up to seated. And so from here, we can keep the bolster right where it is and slowly roll over so that we're on our hands and knees. And now taking your knees wider than your support, go ahead and settle back onto your heels with onto your feet with your shoelace part of your foot down on the ground. Now, I like to lift up momentarily and just move the calves out of the way, especially if your calves can be tight or prone to cramping. It can just be nice to give them a little bit more space so they're not so crunched. And now we'll slide our support in to the space between our thighs. And now it doesn't have to come all the way back. Of course, you don't have to open your legs wider than is comfortable, but we want to give our chest something to rest on here. And so I like to pull a blanket back and let my belly be a little bit more supported than my head so that I can round a little bit more. You may also like that. And so using your hands on either side of your support once more, inhale and pull your heart forward, and then exhale and lie down, letting the cheek of choice or your forehead come down to the mat, or your chin even if that feels comfortable, although I don't recommend it for the strain in the cervical spine. It's a little bit too much in the neck for me personally. But if you like it, go ahead, keeping your arms soft beside you. If you prefer, you can take your hands open beside the hips with the palms facing upward. Or maybe you want to feel like you're giving the whole world a hug, extending your arms out, keeping the palms grounded on the floor. Or kind of coming back to that baby koala or baby monkey imagery, you can think about hugging into your support here, kind of rounding over it, sending the breath deep into the low spine now, really feeling the breath through the sacrum, into the tailbone, creating as much space as you can with the emptying and filling of the breath. Anytime, feel free to slowly turn your head, getting equal time on both sides of the neck. Wherever you are, let's take 3 more full rounds of breath. Taking your hands firm to the floor. Inhale, squeeze your belly toward your back, slowly pressing back up to seated. And now you can move your bolster out of the way. If you would like to, I would invite you to sit on this if you would like to elevate your hips a little bit more. You can also sit on your blanket or use your blocks. Make sure that you feel nice and supported, that your knees are a little lower than your hips, but not straining. You shouldn't really feel like you're being stretched in this position. You should just feel as though you can sit comfortably for the duration. And now we're only going to spend about a minute here, so don't feel like it's got to be the most comfortable meditative pose in the entire world. And so once again, we're going to take our hands into our L shape with all of the fingers flat together, and then taking them to either side of the top of the hip, breathing down into our pelvis, releasing the shoulders and elbows down towards the floor, closing your eyes, sending the breath into the lower body. Focused on that expansion and contraction in the space of the lower spine. Allowing the chest to soften if it feels tight or if it feels really active in the breathing process. See if you can allow your belly to do more of the moving. Take one more big breath in. And then with your exhale, slowly release your hands as you tuck your chin in towards your chest. We'll join our hands together now in front of our heart, feeling grateful for the time that we made today to bring breath and awareness into our lower body. Touching our thumbs to the forehead, reminding us to live with an open mind. And then bringing our thumbs to our heart, reminding us to love with an open heart. It's been my honor to guide you through this brief lower back sequence. We can take the time now to acknowledge and honor one another. Together we can say, Namaste. Right. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions or comments whatsoever, please don't hesitate to reach out. I would love to hear from you. And I will see you again next time. Thanks. Bye.